Hello friends, myself Dr. M. K. Gopru, Department Mathematics, Government College Ajmer. In my earlier lecture, we discussed about the electromagnetism. And it was found that these laws are not covariant with respect to the inertial frames. Means, in one inertial frame, velocity of light is say c, then in another frame, it is when another frame moving with respect to first frame is u dash, then we derived this equation u dash square is equal to c square plus v square minus twice c v cos I, where phi is the angle between the velocity with respect to the first frame, angle between the velocity with respect to the first frame and the velocity of second frame, origin of second frame with respect to the first frame. And we found that in a very particular case, it is u dash will be equal to c only if this factor becomes 0, and this is the way in which the second frame is moving in a very particular direction, then it holds, otherwise there is a difference between velocity of light in one frame to other one. Now, in order to discuss this phenomenon, there must be three possibilities. One, laws of mechanics and laws of mechanics and laws of electrodynamics regarding laws of mechanics and laws of electrodynamics. Laws of mechanics holds with respect to inertial frames, and laws of electrodynamics does not hold. Laws of mechanics holds and laws of electrodynamics does not hold. Second, laws of mechanics and electrodynamics both holds. Laws of mechanics and electrodynamics both holds with reference to inertial frames. Laws of mechanics and laws of electrodynamics both holds, but we have to modify the laws of electrodynamics. Means there arises three situations. One in which regarding to inertial frames, one in which laws of mechanics and laws of mechanics hold with respect to inertial frames, and laws of electrodynamics does not hold with respect to inertial frames. Second possibility is laws of mechanics and laws of electrodynamics both holds with reference to inertial frames, but when laws of electrodynamics are holding the inertial frames, it means we have to modify the laws of electrodynamics. Means we have to make certain changes to laws of electrodynamics. And the third possibility is laws of mechanics and laws of electrodynamics both holds. Laws of mechanics and laws of electrodynamics both holds with respect to inertial frames, but we have to modify the laws of mechanics. Means clear cut, laws of mechanics holds in inertial frame. In inertial frame, laws of mechanics holds. The first possibility is that laws of mechanics holds, but laws of electrodynamics does not hold. The second possibility, both hold, but we have to modify significantly modification in the laws of electrodynamics. And third, both holds, but we have to modify the laws of mechanics. And let us discuss the consequences or each possibilities and their consequences. Let us discuss each possibility, one possibility, second possibility and third possibility. We will discuss all the possibilities one by one and their consequences thereof. So, we can go with Michelson-Morley experiments. Michelson-Morley performed an experiment in 1889 and later on a sequence of they performed this experiment in sequence of situations and tried to discuss the possibilities earlier we discussed about. What is Michelson-Morley? Before discussing the actual Michelson-Morley experiment, we should discuss some points. Laws of mechanics takes some points which are important for us to understand. That first, law of mechanics. Laws of mechanics holds for takes the same form in all inertial frame. Laws of mechanics takes the same form in all inertial frames, in all inertial frames. The first possibility was that laws of mechanics holds in all inertial frames and absolute space. Thus, the conclusion is this: laws of mechanics holds. The conclusion is that absolute space cannot be identified by experiment based on laws of mechanics. Absolute space can't be identified by the experiments based on laws of means laws of mechanics takes the same form in all inertial frames. It means it suggests that absolute space, which was assumed earlier, ether and absolute space, all that are assumed, and thus we can conclude that absolute space cannot be identified by the experiment of based on laws of mechanics. Means in all experiments based on laws of mechanics, we cannot identify the absolute space. So, second, try to understand this. Second, laws of electrodynamics. For principle of relativity, principle of the laws of electrodynamics does not hold. Does not hold. Second, the principle of relativity, laws of electrodynamics does not hold. These laws hold means in first possibility, laws of mechanics holds and laws of electrodynamics does not hold. The fourth principle of relativity means the law which holds in every inertial frames or the law are same in every inertial frame. This was defined by us. That is the principle of relativity. The laws of electrodynamics does not hold. Means in inertial frames, laws of electrodynamics does not hold. And thus we can say these laws holds in a privileged in a privileged. These laws hold in a privileged reference frame. Means laws of electrodynamics does not hold in inertial frames. It means laws of electrodynamics hold in a privileged reference frame. Means there is a specific reference frame. We assume that this is the frame in which laws of electrodynamics holds in privileged reference frame, and the space to which the frame is attached, this frame, the space and the space to which this frame is attached is to which this frame is attached is absolute. Let us say this is an absolute absolute space. Means laws of electrodynamics hold in a privileged reference frame, and this privileged reference frame is attained, and the space to which this privileged frame is attached is absolute space. Means एक particular फ्रेम में लॉज ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोडायनेमिक्स के लॉज होल्ड करते हैं, और इन लॉज को जिस स्पेस में इस फ्रेम ये जो फ्रेम है, ये फ्रेम जिस स्पेस में ये फ्रेम अटैच्ड है उस स्पेस को क्या कहा है? एब्सोल्यूट स्पेस. इट इज नोन एज, and in this absolute space ether which was assumed during the discussion of laws of electrodynamics, the ether is at rest in this space. Means principle of relativity of laws of electrodynamics does not hold. These laws hold in a privileged reference frame, and the space to which this frame is attached means this privileged frame is attached to an absolute space, and in absolute space ether is at rest in this absolute space. This is the preliminary. It is possible to identify the absolute space. Now, conclusion इसलिए absolute space, I think इसके नीचे भी होगा. Absolute space. This absolute space can be identified with the help of log of and with the help of log of electro means absolute space can be thus after modification. That modification is made to electrodynamics laws. What is modification? That the law privileged reference, these laws are holds in a privileged reference frame, and this privileged reference frame is attached with the absolute frame. In absolute frame, ether is at rest, and this absolute frame the absolute space can be identified with. Now this absolute frame can be identified with the help of laws of mechanics and with the help of laws of electrodynamics both. Now, in order to discuss the Michelson-Morley experiment, let us try to discuss this experiment with the help of a very simple example. What is simple example? Let us imagine a river is flowing with velocity v in this direction. Before discussing the actual Michelson-Morley experiment, we are discussing a day-to-day life experiment And from this experiment, we can conclude some things, some conclusions may be drawn, and later on, this experiment will help us to understand the Michelson-Morley experiment in a lot. So let us try to assume that a river is flowing with velocity v and a swimmer which moves with velocity c, which can move with velocity v in still water. Now, this swimmer starts from the point A and moves up to point B and come back with covering this length L, and again this length L means 2L, total length is 2L, and the same swimmer tries to move to point D and come back to point A. Now what happens? This is the length A. The same length. Means this time taken by him to move from A to B and come back to point A will take time t1, and if he moves from A to D and come back to point A again and takes time t2, then what is the difference between with respect to Earth? This phenomena holds good. But in through Michelson-Morley experiment, we will see later on what will happen, what is the phenomena appears from here. So let us try to discuss first thing. Now, from A to B, he takes his velocity of the swimmer is c, and velocity of river is v. So total time taken by the swimmer from A to B is say t1 dash. This is equal to time taken by the swimmer from A to B will be equal to the distance by velocity, and in this case velocity c plus v, velocity of river plus velocity of swimmer. Velocity of river and velocity of swimmer adds because it helps the stream of the river, helps the velocity, helps the stream of velocity of stream will help the swimmer to go to this point B. So total time taken by this is t1 dash, and t1 double dash will be the time to come back from point B to A will be equal to L upon C minus V, because when he is trying to move from this point to this, then the stream will oppose her motion, so it will take longer time. And total time, let us say T1 is the total time taken by the swimmer, so it will be L upon from A to B and again to A, it will be equal to C plus V plus L upon C minus V. And this is equal to, after calculating this will be equal to C square minus V square, and L is common, so this will be 2LC. So this is the time, this is equation number 1. Time taken by this swimmer from A to B and again to A. Now, if the swimmer wants to reach at point D, it means he has to move from this point in this direction. And in dynamics, we read this because the stream will move in such a way, the stream of the river moves in such a way that finally his face is towards this and he will reach at this point. So, from A to D, he takes from A to E and then E to D. A to D means AD square is equal to AE square minus ED square. And what is AE? What is AE? In still water, his velocity is c. So let us take this c t2 bar, c t2 bar, and whole square of it minus ed. E is the ed. This is the velocity v. The stream moves with velocity v, so it is v t2 bar. This. So this is equal to c square minus v square into t2 bar square. This is the time to reach from A to D. So time reach from A to D, T2, C2, AD square. This is AD square. Now T2 bar, AD square. AD is nothing but L square. So T2 bar will be equal to L upon under root C square minus V square. And the same time taken by this to move again to this point, and finally T2 will be equal to twice of L upon under root C square minus V square. And from here, equation number 1 and 2, we can see that the difference between these two will be equal to T1 minus T2 will be equal to twice LC minus C square minus V square minus twice L upon under root C square minus V square. And we notice here that this difference of these two times will not be equal to 0. But in actual experiment, we see that the difference in time is 0. So this is the result which restricts our supposition. Actual experiment, it is found that two times are same. Ether's velocity with respect to Earth means ether's velocity with respect to Earth. In this experiment, our motto is to find the velocity of light with respect to Earth. To perform this Michelson-Morley experiment, it is our motto. Velocity of light with respect to Earth. We want to find out the velocity of light with respect to Earth. And for this it is needed that the velocity of Earth with respect to ether, it is required to find. We discuss this simple experiment to understand our Michelson-Morley experiment. In next lecture, we will discuss Michelson-Morley experiment with the help of this experiment, this result, and discuss its results. We'll discuss about its results in our next lecture. Thank you very much.